My daughter almost doesn't speak at all, but we still manage to communicate every single day because Germany has taught her that you can speak German without actually speaking German. Hallo ihr Lieben! Today's video is entirely inspired by my 2-year-old daughter who is learning English and German. Here's my current life update. My daughter is now 2.5 and she's not speaking all that well. The Kita's had some issues and some worries that she just can't understand where the volume is coming from around the room. So we went to a first doctor, the HNO, the ears, nose, throat specialist in Germany, and they had said, yeah, you know, she's got a lot of fluid in her ear, so she can basically just hear. They wanted to do surgery on her, and my mom has actually been here for the last 2 months and mentioned, you know, I see it and I understand, but why don't we just try some sign language with her so that she can get through the day expressing herself using hand signals, right? So I thought, okay, great, let's try it out. She absolutely loved it, but the funniest part is that she uses these hand signals, you know, like when she wants more or she says thank you and please. She does them very well, but what I've noticed is she's actually picking up on German gestures to communicate. She doesn't know the difference between sign language and the crazy Germans who do a lot with their hands. I mean, comparatively speaking to Italians, maybe not. But my daughter almost doesn't speak at all, but we still manage to communicate every single day because Germany has taught her that you can speak German without actually speaking German. So I'm going to share those in just a second, but if you're actually really interested in learning the language and maybe even taking these gestures and sounds and small words and applying them into real life, into real conversations with the Germans, I have a tip for you today. Our sponsor is italki. I have worked with them before. They are wonderful. And so basically, I'm just going to give you a little refresher about what they're all about so that you can check it out for yourself. italki is an awesome platform for learning languages with real native speakers from around the world. Whether you're starting from scratch or just want to perfect those quirky German noises I just talked about, italki actually has more than 30,000 teachers worldwide who can help you learn exactly how to communicate. So not just in textbooks, but in real life situations too. You're going to have one-on-one lessons so that the teachers can personalize their lessons for your unique needs, your interests, and your goals. And this will not only help give you immediate feedback, but also the opportunity to practice being in this authentic conversation with a native speaker. This is where I find the most confidence was gained for me. So booking a class is simple. You can head to find a teacher and use their filters to search for the perfect one. A good tip for beginners is that you can actually also find teachers who speak your native language, and they can then explain in your native language these concepts that are a little bit more difficult to understand in German, because we know there's a lot of those. So I booked my last call with Caro Vanessa. She's a German teacher who specializes in German for adults, and I used our call actually just to practice speaking German.
Also kannst du schon merken, wenn ich rede, also was sind die größten Fehler, die ich mache? Also auf jeden Fall Grammatik.
Es sind jetzt keine schlimmen Fehler. Es sind ein paar Wörter, wo du zum Beispiel das Fugen-S vergessen hast.
Okay.
Weißt du, was ich meine? Das Fugen-S ist das S, das zwei Wörter verbindet. Zum Beispiel auch hier Geschäftstermin.
Ja.
Und du hast, glaube ich, Freundkreis gesagt.
Ja.
Korrekt wäre Freundeskreis.
Freundeskreis, okay.
I have my B2 level German, but I still make a lot of small mistakes which drive me absolutely crazy. So I simply asked her to help me fix those common errors. I absolutely love that we got to have a casual, stress-free conversation while I improved my German, and it made it feel a lot less like a class and more just talking to a friend. I also find it really helpful that you can pick your teachers based on your schedule and your budget. So you pay per lesson and there are absolutely no subscriptions. And as a mom of 2, I also love that you can book your lessons around your busy schedule, whatever time of day, wherever you are in the world. So if this sounds like something that you would love too, I will leave the link in the description below. Click that link and book your first lesson. And with my personal code,
JENNA,
the first 50 of you can buy $10 in credits and get $5 in credits for free. So now that you're ready to master those German sounds, let's dive back into it and talk about some of the funniest but best words to get you communicating in German without even speaking the German language. So, you ready? Let's get to it. That was actually my favorite one. The leg slap. Very commonly when you are out with your friends and somebody slaps their legs, maybe even throws in a so, it means it's time to go. It means they're ready to get up and they're ready to get going and move on to their next destination. This is also my daughter's absolute favorite one, and I just think it's so cute coming from a 2.5-year-old. She's like, so. Every time she's finished her meal, she's ready to go. If I were to be like, right? Like agreeing with you, in German, you go, ne? Oh, I'm so full, I ate so much for dinner. And then someone's like, ja, ne? Like, yeah, right? I agree. Hopefully over the course of this video, you guys can write better examples down below because I'm not a German. I mean, doppelte Staatsbürgerschaft, yes, I'm now a German, but you know what I mean. Another one that my daughter absolutely loves is boah. Like, oh my goodness, wow. And Germans use it both in a positive and negative way. So like if you've had a lot to eat again, let's say, you go, boah, ich hab mich vollgefressen. Or, boah, das ist mega cool. You know, so you can use it in very different contexts, but it's all, boah, oh my God. Wow. So when you know or don't really know what you want, or like you're kind of agreeing, but you're not entirely agreeing to what somebody just said, you could be like, tja, I don't know, yeah, I guess is kind of what it means. What do you think? Kind of like a, well, what can you do, you know? Another one, which I'm not necessarily as a German gesture, but they go a lot, like, what is that? Maybe like I'm not so sure about that idea. This one I actually hate the most is the hand wave in front of the face. I have talked about that before. I think it is so rude and so disrespectful. But basically in German, when somebody does that, they're like, are you crazy? Like, bist du bescheuert? And it makes you feel like crap. It does. I don't like it. When you're not supposed to be doing something or somebody just doesn't like whatever it is you're doing, this gesture is one of the most common gestures and something that my kids always do too. And I have to kind of like, stop it. The German stare down. Maybe they're just staring at you because they like what you're wearing, but it doesn't look like it the way they're looking at you. And if you want to say what or pardon in a really rude way, or probably to your other family members, you'll be like, huh? 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 Yeah, my daughter does that one too. But in addition to all of these like sounds and strange gestures that the Germans make, there are also some very, very small words that make a huge difference and that can really communicate for you here in Germany. Let's talk about the word bitte. Bitte. So if you can understand that the German word bitte means multiple things for multiple different occasions, it will make your life very, very easy here. So bitte means pardon, excuse me, I didn't hear you correctly. Bitte also means, can you please open that door? Please, can you be a little bit more quiet? It also means you're welcome. So like, bitteschön, here's your meal. Or, may I help you? Sometimes you'll have like the server come up to you and go, so, bitteschön. Basically meaning, give me your order. I don't find this one to be entirely polite, but it's a thing they do here, so be it. Does bitte mean anything else? Probably does. Then you've got, I get it, I do. Ach so. Is that a word or a sound? Ach so. I think it's spelled A-C-H-S-O. Like, no, this girl lives there. Ah, ach so. Ja, jetzt habe ich das kapiert. One of my favorites is actually the word oder, which means or, which you wouldn't use in the English language, but it's basically like, how do I explain this? Like when you ask a question and you're asking for some sort of confirmation. So I think in Canada, we might use the term a, like it's really hot out today, eh? You could say here in Germany, es ist wirklich heiß geworden, oder? Or you could say, es ist wirklich heiß geworden, ne? Which is kind of similar to a as well. I love these sounds. You Germans are crazy. Then you've got doch. If any of you have children who understand German, please go out and buy the book Das Neinhorn. It is a very long book. I hate reading it to my son, but it is so funny. Basically, this unicorn says nein. He says no a lot, but he also meets friends along the way, like the na und Hund, the was Bär, like was? Ich hab das nicht kapiert. Was Bär instead of wash bear, raccoon. Na Hund was a Hund, a dog. And then of course you've got the Königstochter. So instead of Königstochter, the king's daughter, you've got the Königstochter. And doch is something that people use as an empathetic contradiction. Basically, doch means like, yeah, it is. When someone says no and you want to say yeah. I'm so bad at these explanations. I really hope you guys save me from butchering these examples down below. Another one means like, well, yeah, like na ja. Basically, you would use this when you're a bit reluctant or unsure about the situation or the answer you're providing. Like, yeah, today was another rainy day in Düsseldorf. And I'd be like, naja, like, what can you do about it? It is what it is. And then my son's favorite right now is jein, which is ja and nein, meaning yes and no. So if you want to agree and disagree, or neither agree or disagree, you can say jein. Which is a totally silly one to include, but the other day I was like, yeah, but no. And he was like, Mom, I think you're looking for a word that doesn't exist in English. It's jein. I was like, okay, my 6-year-old Mr. Schulkid. He's teaching me a lot of German though, I have to say. This year has been game-changing for me already. So I'm sure I have a ton more up my sleeve, but I'm gonna leave the floor for you guys to share some even more crazy, wild, weird German gestures and sounds that you can communicate without communicating in the German language. Thank you for tuning in. Vielen, vielen lieben Dank und wie immer, bis später.